Good morning everyone, and welcome to the first Ask Loopy session of 2017. Just bear with me. I'm going to just make sure it's all running and get it up onto the group as well. Okay. Just get it over into the group as well. That's it. Right, if you have any questions, any comments, just put them on there as well, and I should be able to see them as they come up. So sometimes a little bit of a delay. So yesterday we had the winners announced of the giveaways. Still waiting for Tash to come forward with her address. So if you're listening, Tash, I've sent you an email. Just let me know that you've received it and give me your address so I can get that sent off to you. So that prize was for the gloves, and keeping with the wintry theme, this month we're going for a man's knitted hat, or it could be a woman's. It's a ribbed hat in browns, very soft, and that's going to go up for this month. So I'll get that added to the website as soon as possible. So let's go into the questions that were sent. This one was for Suzanne, and in fact it was one from last year, but we just didn't get round to being able to get it done. Suzanne was talking about magnetic catches. I've just got a couple of things to show you. The ones that most generally get are the ones that you actually have to put a hole in the fabric to push through, put the prongs down and fasten it through. So let's see, just like this one. Now the disadvantage of these are that you're actually poking it through the fabric. So if you're using these, then I'd make sure that you use interfacing. But the problem that I found is, it was my mistake, I'd never used them before, that the fabric was too fragile to take the weight of them, and magnets were strong, could take a lot of pulling, but the fabric that I used was quite light. If you're going to use those, it needs to be a good thickness there, possibly with wadding in between, so that you've got the plenty of padding and weight for to take the wear and tear of pulling. As you can just see, as I pull it apart there, you can just see it poking through, so I was always just get my finger in there just to loosen it, but that shouldn't happen. So that's more my problem, because it was the first time I used it and I didn't take that into account. But what I have found just recently, it's fairly new, and you've got these magnets. They're encased in a plastic coating, and it goes inside the lining, so there is no visible anything visible on the outside of your fabric like these are. It's all enclosed, and you fit that in between the top layer and your wadding, and they click together. Just make sure you've got the right size facing. I quite like the idea of trying those, because I do like the idea that it fastens without anything being visible. But of course that's going to be very dependent on what style that you like, and whether you want to have a visible closure or not. I'll try and find a link of where I found those, and I'll put that up on the comments later. I've not used them, but I do have a project in mind, so as soon as I use them I'll show you and you can see what they're doing. So the next question came from Julie, and Julie wanted to know about interfacing, which ones to use for making bags. And in fact, actually it will depend. Oh, good morning Lisa, it's nice to see you. I hope everything's well with you and the family. I hope you have a bit more of a peaceful one this year. I think you had a tough time last year, didn't you? So I hope it all goes well for you this year too. So for Suzanne with her interfacing, it very much depends on the effect that you want with your bag and the fabric that you use. So I try not to use interfacing if possible. If the fabric is fragile and needs more weight to it, then yes. If you're using a stiff interfacing, an iron-on one, they recommend that you cut it within the seam allowance so that you're not getting that bulk in the seams. With this messenger bag, because of the thickness of the fabric, I've not used any interfacing or wadding, and that's taken up. Thank you, Lisa. It's nice to actually see somebody I know when they come up. We had one the other day in one of the groups, and it was quite nice having a chat with everybody. It's nice to have you here. Right, so that one's got no interfacing. These ones. Oh. Hello, Nicola. These ones I've used wadding in between, and that's because it gives a softer feel to it. It gives a bit of extra strength to the fabric so that it can take the weight and the shape. I'm going to put a link to one and the photo of the other bags that I've done, because the wadding in that one is quite thick and it holds its shape. So I use those for bags, and you can get quite a good form. I find that even if you use interfacing, that having a layer of wadding in between just helps to give it a bit of body and thickness to without being too hard. But if you can let me know like the style of bag that you want, then we can talk about which is the best wadding to use. I'm going to put a link up from Empress Mills. They also do a liner that's also forms the interfacing, so that's quite useful. I've used that on nappy bags before, so I've put the link. So Nicola had a bag by me. The one that Nicola had, I didn't actually quilt it, but it was the Bosal bag interliner, and that's quite a firm interfacing, so that gives a nice effect too. Nicola, we'll be getting you to make your own bag soon. Can start off simple. So those were the questions that I had. I'm sorry, Suzanne, that it took so long to answer yours. Coming up is something that came up in the group yesterday about cleaning sewing machines, how to take those apart and put them back together again, and the parts that are there. Nicola needs to buy fabric for a patchwork class. Have you decided on colours? And the other question is, how's the pin cushion? bread and cream. I've enjoyed actually seeing the different ones in the group. I think the different fabrics used, and I think having the lighter fabric in the middle as well was a nice effect. Well done, pincushion's nearly finished. So I'm just going to see if I can tag Suzanne, because her question was in here. So one of the things that we've been talking about in the group Get Creative is the fact that lots of us have projects that we start and they get left. Some get left for a long time. I know that I've had some that have been there for quite a number of years. So until the end of February, we're going to have an unfinished object challenge. We're going to pick one and finish. So if anybody would like to come and join us, come and join us in the group, and we're going to do a weekly roundup so that we can keep ourselves on track and get at least one project finished to the end of the month. So Nicola and I have been talking about the patchwork class. If you'd like to join us, you've still time to join. Until Friday, I think it is, it's on a special offer. So there's a post pinned to the top of the page. If you'd like to join us, there's 30% off the joining price. So it's just over £10 it works out. So we'd love for you to come and join us as well. And don't forget, we announced it yesterday on the video, there's the new pincushion class. So you can get to make either a heart pincushion or a flower pincushion. Actually, you can make both because all those details are on that class, and that's just £5. So we'd love you to come and join us with that as well. So I hope that your month has got off to a creative start. We're going to try and keep that going throughout the year. Any questions for next month's Ask Loopy, please let me know. It's just helpful that if I have to do any videos, I can get those demonstrations done in time. So I love all the variety. So I'm going to wish you a happy day, happy creative day, and it's nice to have a couple of you here, and we look forward to speaking to you soon. So enjoy the rest of your day.